Roger, shut down, and we copy 101.4 by 103.6. Roger out. Right on time.
Yep, yesterday we made a final call and we told all passengers to board the Ethereum flight 10,000 to the moon. We told you guys this is not a drill. Yes, we repeated, it's not a drill because ETH is now in full flight and we are heading to the moon. Today we're going to look at what the price target is for ETH because now we're actually in full price discovery mode. We've never been here before. We don't know what happens from here. We're going to look at why ETH is going up, the fundamentals, the technicals, and everything else that has to do with this. I'm Crypto Man Run. I come to you every single day at 10 a.m. EST, bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom and making sure that people all around the world get it. It's 10 a.m. in Los Angeles. It's 7 a.m. in Los Angeles, 10 a.m. in New York, 3 p.m. in Europe, 5 p.m. in Africa, Israel, and Australia. It's way past midnight, but I'm sure you're watching the show. Let's look at the other headlines today. Well, it's Michael Saylor's big corporate Bitcoin day today. Is he going to convince every single corporate that goes to the event to buy Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheets? Well, that's what we're going to find out. We're going to bring you guys live coverage of the event. We're going to tell you who's attending, and we're going to sneak a whole lot of live coverage so that you can see exactly what's going on, like the corporates. And then in other big news, gold demand has dropped over 14% in 2020. That's not the big news. We're going to analyze where the drop came from, and that's going to shock you. And guess what? Bitcoin demand increased. So we're going to talk about those numbers and what exactly they mean. And then reports that Polkadot is listing on a stock exchange. Are there real reports? Is there anything to get excited about? That is what we're going to talk about. We're also going to reveal our token for the month of Feb. But that's going to come with a big warning, a big warning sign. And that's because my cashometer says that I'm now 27% in cash. That means when the market runs, I put more money into cash because I think it's getting heated, and now I'm 27% in cash. Despite that, we're going to talk a lot about the altcoin calls, and we're going to do this with none other than the biggest crypto YouTuber in the world, and an all-round incredible, unbelievable guy. And that is, of course, my friend BitBoy Crypto. Welcome to CryptoBanter.com.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Real excited to talk about crypto, and today's definitely a very interesting day and a very good day in the world of cryptocurrency.
There's a lot going on, a lot to discuss. Before we get on with the show, I want to tell you a quick story. I have a friend of mine who phoned the Bitcoin company, and he got to the secretary, and you know what the secretary said to him?
What's that?
Well, look here.
Thank you for calling Bitcoin. Please hold. 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 Thank you for calling Bitcoin. Please hold.
Yep, she said, thank you for calling Bitcoin. Please hold. And that's exactly what we all should be doing, man. That's what we should be doing.
Wow. Well, what a good tweet that was. That was tweet of the year, supposedly.
Tweet of the year. That's for me the tweet of the year. For me, that I woke up this morning.
Been getting better than that one.
Doesn't get any better than that one. Look, let's get into the news. Let's get into the big stories in the news. And I think the big story in the news is obviously the Ethereum breakout. Now, we've been calling this Ethereum breakout on both of our channels for a long time. In fact, I even called on my channel. Watch this. I called this video yesterday. In fact, I don't have that video on here. But I called the video yesterday. I said to the guys, Grayscale hasn't started buying. And they've got a 4-month backlog in terms of orders. And they came to the market with the full vengeance, like Grayscale does, and bought 24,000 Bitcoin in one day. And that has sent the ETH price spiking. I mean, I know you've made some big price predictions for ETH. Tell me a little bit about your thinking there.
Yeah, so the long and the short of it is I'm long on Ethereum, and I have been for basically the last year. And when you look at what happened with Bitcoin, right, you have the Bitcoin, initial launch was going to be an electronic peer-to-peer currency. But we know what happened. The narrative changed. Somewhere along the line, even the Bitcoin maxis started dropping the narrative that this is going to be electronic cash. We all know it's digital gold. That's what these big investors see when they are looking at Bitcoin now as digital gold. They're not looking at it as a currency. But the interesting thing we're seeing now with Grayscale and a lot of these other institutional buyers is they're shifting their eyes. They're going from Bitcoin and now they're looking at Ethereum. And the reason would be because there's just so much upside potential for where Ethereum can go, right? If Bitcoin replaced the entire gold market, I think it's about $11 trillion. I don't know the exact number today, but I was looking at some numbers that might be a little outdated, but 11 trillion, what more can Bitcoin do than that? You know, it can only serve the purpose to be digital gold. So when it comes to Ethereum, there's so many other markets that it can tap into in order to bring in market cap and bring in excitement. And I think we're also going to see a similar change with the narrative of Ethereum from being just a utility platform, if you will, to also being a store of value, because it's just a natural flow of the money to come down from the top down to number two. And I think we're definitely going to see that. I think we're seeing it now. We're seeing the grayscale stuff heat up. And I'll tell you this, I don't know anyone that has known about cryptocurrency but not been invested in the, let's just say the last few years, that's asking me about Bitcoin. They're all asking me about Ethereum. Family members, friends, you know, it's just so much excitement around it.
They came here for the Bitcoin returns. They arrived here and they thought, wow, we want the Bitcoin returns. But Bitcoin in their mind has had a run. And now they're saying, well, what is the next Bitcoin? And that is, for them, it's Ethereum. Let's look at some fundamentals. I know we're both fundamental people. We don't draw fancy lines on charts. Right. We're not the best at drawing fancy lines on charts. But let's look at the fundamentals. So Grayscale didn't buy for 4 months, has a 4-month backlog, taking new applications, and yesterday bought 24,796 Ethereum, and that buying is set to continue. Let's look at another bit of fundamental. The number of Ethereum moving off exchanges. The red line shows you the number of people the number of Ethereum moving off exchanges. Those two alone, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That means
to me personally, I think that's the biggest thing to look at is for us to get to a point where Ethereum becomes the store of value narrative similar to Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum also will always be a utility. I mean, its platform itself, it's not a utility token per se. They're built on top of the utility for Ethereum, which is the platform. That will always exist, right? If Ethereum's going to grow, the network's got to grow, usage has got to grow in many different niches. But the thing about it is that now the store of value thing is becoming very clear. It is a dual purpose for Ethereum. And these big investors are looking at Bitcoin, they're saying that ship sailed, and they're jumping in. The scarcity and rarity of Bitcoin is what has driven the whole thing. With Ethereum, with the lower price points, there's certainly many more coins in existence, and they also have a little bit of an inflation problem they need to solve in terms of the cap. But these investors are looking now at Ethereum, and it's starting to get scarce too. When you look at those exchange reserves plunging, it is really insane to think about.
It looks like I'm back. Sorry, it looks like I lost internet connection, or one of us lost internet connection, but I'm back. I don't believe that Ethereum needs to be a store of value. And I'll explain to you what my rationale is, why I say it doesn't need to be a store of value. Because a store of value like gold has a market cap of $11 trillion at the moment. Mm-hmm. The thing is that the derivatives market, like you said on your show yesterday, is always 100 times bigger than the underlying market. It's a fact. Mm-hmm. And the derivatives on Bitcoin are never going to be built on the Bitcoin infrastructure because they can't be. So let Bitcoin keep the store of value. That's great. You're the store of value. You're the gold. We're the derivatives platform. That, for me, is the much bigger argument.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing with Wall Street bets and everything that's been going on in the stock market, people are mad about margin. They're mad about leverage trading. They're mad about people shorting the market, with hedge funds shorting the market to destroy companies. People don't like that. But the fact is, with the world of derivatives, it's so big, estimates put it at $1 quadrillion. You're not ever going to be able to destroy that market. The whole world economy is built on it, really, which, it's built on a bunch of IOUs, as I always say. I just remember the scene in the movie Dumb and Dumber. I'm sure everybody's, most people have seen that, if you're over the age of 25, probably. And at the end of that movie, Jim Carrey comes in with this briefcase that's supposed to be worth $1 million. And the whole movie's about this $1 million. And he opens the briefcase finally to give it back, and it's just full of IOUs you like. Oh, this is a nice one. This is a Ferrari. This one's for $250K or whatever it is. And that's where the world economy is built on, all these IOUs. And the thing is, we don't need to look at destroying that system. It's too big. But what Ethereum offers is it's a channel where regular investors, people like you and me, people who've never invested anything in their lives, will get a chance to tap into that market. And when you start to think the derivatives market's $2 quadrillion with only pretty much the 1% of society in it. You think how Ethereum can bridge that gap. It's really phenomenal to think of the upside.
Yeah, I created a little cheat sheet for our viewers. And the cheat sheet shows why I think that ETH's going to $5,000. The first thing on the cheat sheet is the fact that Grayscale Trust has this backlog. The second thing is that the ETH supply on exchanges is reduced significantly. The number of new addresses is growing at an exponential rate, faster than any other time in history. Over $4 billion worth of ETH2 is staked at the moment, which means investors are saying, we are confident that ETH2 is coming. Many funds are coming up with Grayscale funds, including Galaxy Digital. I want to show you something. I want to show you the transactions. I'm sure you know this. You've spoken about it many times on your shows, but that's a one-day comparison between the Bitcoin and the ETH transactions. Ethereum is doing 4 times the number of transactions that Bitcoin is doing. Yes, they're smaller transactions because DeFi is just starting, but 4 times the number of transactions. Look at the number of active addresses. 892,000 active addresses on Bitcoin, 734,000 on Ethereum. On this valuation metric, Ethereum should be trading 2.5 times higher than it is trading now, which makes that around $4,500.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just where it is now. I mean, I think, people hear all these numbers and these predictions, and, the one thing is across the crypto YouTube landscape, if you will, and even we're starting to see in the institutional investment landscape, I mean, it's looking like $4,000 or $5,000 is minimum. Like I'll be disappointed if it's $5,000 by October. I think we're going to see the Ethereum price, like you said, now it's in price discovery. A lot of people see charts that point to a $3,000 Bitcoin or a $3,000 Ethereum by the end of this month. And I think it's definitely possible. I think $5,000 is super low over the next, over the rest of the cycle. And the number I've said, I mean, a lot of people know my predictions because they've came true. A lot of these have come true so far. I predicted Bitcoin's all-time high a year before it hit it. I predicted exactly within 1 week of when it hit it. I predicted Ethereum to hit its all-time high by, I think, January 16th. I think it hit it by the 17th or whatever it was. And that happened. And I believe in a $27,000 Ethereum. That's based on a $300,000 Bitcoin, by the end of this year. So I think we look at these, 4,000 or 5,000 numbers. There's a lot of technical driven things, some fundamental driven things. But the biggest driver of price is the Bitcoin cycles. And so far, it has just chugged along in the most bullish way possible. And, that excitement is going to continue to build. And a lot of that money is going to go into Ethereum. And if it can get to 8 to 10% of, if the cost of one Ethereum could get to 8 to 10% of the price of one Bitcoin, and when you factor in the cycle times and stuff like that, I think we could be looking at somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000.
That's the positive case for Ethereum. Talk to me about the bear case. Like, what can go wrong? Because, what I don't like is we've drank the Kool-Aid. We love crypto, we know crypto, we understand the fundamentals. And the amount of excitement and passion that we have, and even if you look at the other YouTubers and the YouTube titles, Ethereum all-time high. But let's take a step back and look at it with fresh eyes and say, what could go wrong here? What could take this whole thing down?
Yeah, so to me personally, I really believe that when it comes to Ethereum in a bearish case, it has to be something external. It will be nothing with Ethereum. And the reason for this is because there's 2 tracks in crypto, right? We have the speculation track, and then you have the use case track. And right now where we're at in cryptocurrency, the use case just doesn't matter that much. It is purely speculative driven right now. That's why institutional investors are coming into Ethereum from Bitcoin. It's not because they understand the Ethereum platform. Like, that's not it at all. It's because the Bitcoin price has been driven up and they want to jump into the next best thing. So I believe for this bull cycle, it will continue to be driven totally by speculation. Now, we get to the next Bitcoin bull cycle that will occur sometime in 2024, or sometime in that range, 2023 to 2024. That point, the use case will become more obvious. And I think there will be a stronger connection. So for the bearish case for Ethereum for this bull run right now that we're in, it's got to be the United States goes through another total lockdown. The dollar collapses, which in theory should be good for crypto. We don't know that for sure. Stock market bubble. I mean, I'm really nervous about the stock market right now.
Yeah, I'm super nervous about stock marketing. I have a theory that people that are buying into crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Polkadot now, are buying into one thing. They're actually buying into network effects. They bought into network effects with Facebook, with Google, with Amazon, with Instagram. And now they're saying, here's another take for network effects. Now, any company that has network effects obviously gets the highest valuations in the world. There's no doubt that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Polkadot, and we'll talk about that in a second, have got the network effects. But once a protocol or a company has the network effects, only three things can break it. The first thing is a fundamental technology failure that can't be repaired. Not sure that's going to happen. The second thing is government intervention. And I don't know if governments can intervene very much more in ETH. I mean, the SEC said that ETH is not a security. Green light, so that's not going to happen. The third thing is that there's a technology that is 10x better. In other words, something gets introduced that is 10x better than Bitcoin or ETH. And I don't think that's happening in the next 12 months, man.
No, absolutely not. And you really hit on the key point there, which is it's not happening in the next 12 months. It's not happening in 2021. Now, will this happen? Yeah, it certainly can happen. And I believe there's a strong case to be made that Cardano and Polkadot both can be the replacement for Ethereum. But it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, you know, if you watch football, I'm going to the Super Bowl this weekend. I'm really pumped about it. Can't wait to go taking my 5-year-old, my 9-year-old boy to check it out, see Tom Brady in his last game, hopefully, maybe if he wins. But it's kind of like this. You got a team, they're crushing it. They're doing really well. Let's say they've won almost all their games. And you get to the end of the season and that quarterback breaks his leg. You know, if that quarterback breaks his leg, it doesn't matter if the team was 16-0 going into the playoffs. There's a huge opportunity for someone to step in and take them. And all of a sudden, all the analysts would be like, oh, look, we didn't think this was going to happen. Look, he broke his leg and, you know, the backup quarterback's in. He's not that good. And so there's another team can step up and win the Super Bowl easily that year, or win the conference, whatever the case may be. Ethereum has the quarterback right now. Ethereum has that star quarterback. And you can just think of that in any analogy that you want, whether it's the platform, the code, the developers, whatever it is the first mover. It is way ahead in the smart contract, platform space. But the problem is it's got the network effect. Yeah.
It can't be stopped. What about the CME futures? You were around when the Bitcoin CME futures launched. I'm sure you remember that huge run up that we had on the Bitcoin. We went from 3,000 all the way to like 11,000 or 12,000. The Bitcoin futures launched, and then we had this huge dip. We dipped 50%, and it took us weeks, if not even months, to recover. ETH futures are launching on the 8th of Feb, which is less than a week away. What do you think? Good thing, bad thing?
Well, it's not going to have nearly the same effect on the market that we had in 2017. I mean, the reason would be there's so many obvious reasons for that. Number one, we're in a different stage of the cycle. And, you know, I have studied these Bitcoin cycles rigorously over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, looking for hope, you know, but I've really studied this a lot. And I know how these cycles operate. I know the time frames. If we were to go into a bear market at this point, it would be completely uncharacteristic for all of Bitcoin's history. And that would like shake us to not know what's coming in the future. Right now, everything's falling along the same lines. At that point, the launch was the peak of the market. It was the very, very, very peak of the market. I think they were announced on the 11th and they launched on the 17th, which I believe was the actual day of the top of the market for Bitcoin. And so it's a different time. But I think also, if you take a step back and you look at the institutional investing side as a whole, and you say, we didn't have anything else at that point. There were no other institutional channels. There wasn't any other way for these people to invest, from the traditional markets. I mean, the Grayscale Trust, I'm pretty sure were not available at that point. And so when you look at the CME features on Ethereum, we already have plenty of people invested in, like Backed, for instance, that's, physically backed Bitcoin futures contracts opposed to the paper ones. And at that point, those paper ones were really just inflating the market. And that, is a big reason why I think it dropped. So I think when you look at the timing and you look at the overall landscape of institutional investing and channels that big people can get in through, and not to mention like now they actually see the importance of investing literally into the asset, not into a stock, not into futures, but holding the asset itself in your treasury, your corporation. I think we're not going to see, but what we could see, I believe Ethereum is going to have a huge month in February. Bitcoin's going to have a huge month in February. If you look at 2015 at the calendar months and how crypto has performed, you would see January is generally a drop. February is generally a moon month. And then March, we have another drop. And I think that's what we will need to see for a healthy market in order to get, to the prices we want to get to. So I don't think we'll see the effects directly in February, but I think in March we could get another correction.
Amazing. Let's move our discussion and let's talk about the other big token in the game. And that is, of course,
Bitcoin, please hold. Thank you for calling Bitcoin, please hold. Thank you for calling.
So it's Michael Saylor's big corporate day today. It's a day where he's sharing his corporate playbook with corporate America, Wall Street America. It's a free event. It's a free event that's going to be attended by thousands of people, apparently. We've got some passes. We are covering the event for you guys live just to show you there is nothing going on at the moment. The first lecture comes on, or the first stream happens at 12 o'clock EST, which is in about an hour and a half. What are you expecting from there?
Well, traditionally in crypto, we see buy the rumor, sell the news, and everybody who's anyone in this space has been anticipating this conference. I mean, I think Elon Musk is supposedly going to be there, and there's some other people. I mean, I think it's virtual, right? So
whoa. Are we saying Elon Musk is going to be there?
I'm not saying he's going to be listening. I can tell you that much. I mean, he's already been listening to Michael Saylor. They've been buddies. I don't know for sure if he's going to be there, but there's a lot of rumors that he's involved in this one way or another.
Guaranteed if his name is on the list.
Dip today.
If Elon's name is on the list, Bitcoin is going to $50,000 today. I mean, come on. If Elon Musk is joining.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to believe that the Elon pump from last week is overblown. I think there's a lot of stuff that, that was really the Wall Street bets pump. Elon just kind of came in at just the right time and made that tweet. And, I don't know what Elon's doing in his personal investing, but I'm hearing some things. I'm hearing some rumors and things like that. So I think the big thing was not necessarily the pump that we got that day, but the dump we got the next day from F2 pool dropping the price. But that's a different story.
I want to talk to you about that because I listened to your show and you were up in arms about F2 pool selling. You were crazy. You were pissed. But why? Hold on.
Why? Okay.
Hold on. Well,
so
hear me out. Here's a
miners have responsibility. Yeah, the miners have a responsibility to the space. The miners have responsibility to the space. They are leading what is happening in cryptocurrency. I have no problem with miners selling their Bitcoin. They have to sell their Bitcoin in order to stay profitable and things like that. And we know that having the supply shock, they're not making it as many per block and things like that. So they have to sell their Bitcoin. But the thing is, when you look at the miner outflow, according to Crypto Quant, it's been pretty consistent. All of the miners across the board, all of the mining pools across the board, like they will one day sell a bunch and then go back to their average. Most of the time, and if you look through the entire last several months up until January, they were selling at a very, very, very consistent rate. And when all of a sudden the price goes up and gets a little dip, and then they plunge the market down by selling, what do you think they're doing?
It's a free market.
It is a free market, but they're doing it in order to manipulate the price and push it down, and they're making money on shorts. That's exactly what they're doing. They're manipulating the market with these gigantic dumps. They sold $1 billion one day. Like, that's too much.
That's great. Yeah. We should buy it. Then you should buy it. You should buy it.
There's an argument there.
It's a free market. And they did come out and they did come out with respect, and they did say, look, it's not us. It's whales that actually made money by investing with us in the mining pool. And I think that's a big story. I think it's
coordination, though. I mean, they're selling in a coordinated way when they're all selling on the same day. So it still gets back around to the same thing. And if you don't think that this thing is behind scenes where they're coordinating, then you haven't really welcomed yourself to crypto. That's happening.
The market will always win because, hey, if they want to sell coordinated and drop the price down, I want to buy. I want to buy those dips. The market is much stronger.
That's the type of stuff that makes crypto look bad, though. Like if this happened on Wall Street, obviously it's a regulated market, it's different. If this, and we know it does happen, but if it happened this blatantly, obviously, it would be a huge deal. And it just brings up to me the larger problem with Bitcoin. And this is why I'm so bullish on Ethereum for so many reasons. The fact that you can have one entity that can dump, whether it's a pool, and I know it's made up of different people, you have one entity as a mining pool that's got so much control over the hash rate that can push a price down that much in a single day. It's unbelievable. And they've got a responsibility to this space. In my opinion, I feel a deep responsibility to this space, and all the people that watch my channel, the Bit Squad, that's it, my community. I love those people. And for me to see that community grow with newer people, and to see those people get wrecked directly because of one entity, I can't take that. Like, that pisses me off. It is a free market. I understand that. But the fact that it is centralized, Bitcoin is not as decentralized as everybody wants to make it out to be. Especially even with as big of a network as it is, when you've got, and they said they've only sold off 10%. They have 90% more that they can sell off. They could push the price all the way down to $1,000 if they dumped all their.
They would lose a lot of money doing that. Guys, just a reminder.
Obviously, there is a ratio where it doesn't make sense to do that. But I just don't like seeing people get wrecked over, people that are supposed to be leading the space. And once again, we get back around to the fact that the majority of the hash rate is in China by itself. That's another really, really big issue for Bitcoin.
That's a big issue. That's a huge issue we need to discuss. Guys,
it's all interwoven, though. It's all interwoven.
Of course. Guys, I forgot to tell you in the beginning of the show, but please, we want to share this content with as many people as possible. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell button. Now, smash it, smash it, smash it. Very important that you guys hit the bell button, because I'm coming to you live every time something happens. I warned you guys about the XRP pump and dump this weekend. And if you don't hit the bell button, you're not going to get these alerts. So hit that bell button. That's the most important thing. Also, give us some love. Spread it. Share the link, because that's how we grow this. We keep growing our show thanks to you guys. Love you guys. Want to protect you guys. But we need from you just give us love, hit the likes, and hit the subscribes. Let's go on to the next story. I love this story. This is my anti-Peter Schiff story. And that is that gold demand drops 14% in 2020. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin demand, because we both know that Bitcoin demand has gone through the roof in 2020, unprecedented. But gold demand has gone down. Okay, not big news. 14% drop in gold in 2020. That's the biggest drop they've had in the last 20 years. Now,
what a coincidence.
Here's the catch. Where do you think the drop came from? So obviously jewelry, because people were stuck at home, people were stressed, it was COVID. You weren't going to go and buy your wife a new gold ring or gold earrings, or I don't know, something like that. Where do you think the biggest drop came from? The biggest drop of demand for gold?
I'm so curious. I want to see what this is.
Central banks.
Central banks. Wow.
Central banks had 59% less supply for gold. I mean, what is that telling you?
That they're preparing for the arms race that is cryptocurrency. I would say that's definitely probably where they're looking at. Gold is boring. I mean, gold is boring. People who like to invest in gold, they're mostly older. I mean, the new generation, gold is meh to them. They don't really care. And so I think they're seeing where the future is going. These banks are not going to get left behind in the revolution. I mean, we think we're going to uproot them. And man, I would tell you, I've had so many problems with banks over the last few weeks. I got my bank account taken, all of my business bank accounts taken because of a Coinbase wire into my account. They wanted me to fill out 27 pages of paperwork, and then they were still going to take my account. So, of course, I just moved on to somewhere else, and now we're having problems with banks wanting us to do all kinds of things, like we can't spend X amount of dollars even though we've got it in our account. We're having problems with payroll stuff here at BitBoy Crypto. And it's really been interesting, because it's been so frustrating, but at the same time, it's also been like, I'm so, fused into this cryptocurrency system that like, it just backs up more and more and more what I believe, which is banks at the current rate are dying, and many of them are insolvent. And that's why they give you a hard time about spending more than $5,000 of your own money in one day. Like we just made a few big purchases for the studio, and they gave us a real hard time about spending our own money. And it's because they see what's coming, and cryptocurrency could be the only way that they could possibly, not go insolvent by moving things over. So I think that's why we're seeing them lower their gold reserves and, definitely get up on the cryptocurrency reserves. It's very interesting to see what that number would be, the increase in cryptocurrency reserves among central banks.
But for me, when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, Here you are at a bank. The gold price is going up. And what do? You're selling your gold reserves and saying, you know what, this is my chance to exit. The only reason today why people should hold gold is to hedge themselves against money printing. And what are the central banks doing? They are getting rid of their gold. I think, I have a theory, and I've said this on my show, I had a whole show about it, but I think that in 10 years, nobody will hold gold as a store of value. I think there will be use cases for gold. I think the use cases will be dental fillings, because there's a big community in the world that actually do like gold dental fillings, jewelry. And I think if you look at technology, I mean, it has gone down slightly, but there is a slight use for gold.
Yeah, to me, that's the future of gold. Technology is the future of gold. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, conjecture about space mining. And I think people that don't think space mining is the future are not paying attention. There will be space mining. Now, will it be in our lifetimes? I don't know. You know, there's an asteroid out there floating around Saturn, I believe it is, and it has enough gold on it to give every person in the world $9.5 billion worth of gold. And of course, we understand supply and demand, and that doesn't actually work. Gold is not an unlimited, gold has more of an unlimited supply than we know. Certainly, there is a certain amount of gold out there in the universe, but we have no idea what that number is. And so the real use case for space mining will be technology continuing to increase. I mean, I think they said there's going to be like 34 billion IoT devices in the next few years. And, you know, that's where this gold is going to be going to. So, you know, why would you hold something that does have an unlimited supply compared to something like Bitcoin that's digital? It's where the world's going. It's limited. You know, jewelry isn't like that. You know, kids today don't care about jewelry. You know, the younger generation, they don't care about expensive stuff like that. They would rather spend their time and money doing experiences.
Yeah, I see the ETH is breaking through 1600. The comments are going crazy. 1600 is in play. Thank you, Pavel. We are in the show, so it's very hard to see. Also, Donald Trump also telling us that ETH is going through 1600. So what a time! What a time! What a time to be alive.
What Donald Trump did something about Ethereum?
Yeah, Donald Trump is always on our channel. We've got Elon Musk. We've got Donald Trump. We have a very strong community. We told you about that. We told you when you came on the show that, you know,
know about that. Wow. Okay. Didn't know about the Donald Trump thing. That's amazing.
Let's move on to the next story, and that is one which was hyped up by a lot of YouTubers, and that is that Polkadot is listed on a stock exchange. Is Polkadot listed on a stock exchange, yes or no?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it is or not. I think the potential of it's interesting, but I tell you what really I'm seeing a lot of, which is I don't know what's real and what's not real anymore in the world of crypto.
Yeah. So look, I did the research. I like doing the research. I make sure that the community, just like you, I know I watch your show religiously, and I see that
Thank you.
It's fundamental, and you do the research. And you know, every time I listen to 2 shows of yours, one before I go to bed and one when I wake up in the morning, because I'm actually in different time zones. But yes, there were a lot of reports that Polkadot got listed on a stock exchange, and they're kind of true. There's a company called 21 Shares, and they create grayscale type products on a very, very, very small stock exchange in Switzerland. And they did list a Polkadot product. Now, up until now, Grayscale hasn't listed a Polkadot product. I suspect that is because Polkadot doesn't have a functioning network. And for as long as Polkadot don't have a functioning network, there is the chance that it could be deemed a security by the SEC. And that's why they haven't added the Polkadot network. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Polkadot actually got to the number 4 spot on CoinMarketCap. It's now above XRP. So I did some research about this 21 Shares company, and they have a Bitcoin product and they have an Ethereum product. But the reality is that the Bitcoin product that they have only has a net asset value of, I think it was about $160 million. And the ETH product that they have has a net asset value of $66 million. So, I mean, it's great to see Polkadot being listed on exchanges, but I don't think that this is like really huge news. I think it's just another product. I'd love to see Grayscale introducing Polkadot, because I think Polkadot is one of my favorite tokens.
Yeah, it's interesting. I agree with a lot of what you said there. I think the most important reason they put it on there was because we're talking about it today. You know, you put it on there, you get some publicity, maybe you get some money flowing there, you get some money flowing into your Bitcoin and your Ethereum trust. But the reason why I said earlier that I don't know what's real and what's not real anymore is because, you know, we do have to get this Grayscale story that's floating around. I've actually got Charles Hoskinson live on my show at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be on at 11:30. We're going to talk about a few things. I want to ask him about this grayscale Cardano story, because what we're seeing is there's been several. What's that?
He may be joining us now as well. We're just waiting for confirmation to see if Charles is going to jump on.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So the thing is that we're seeing these stories pop up about these LLCs that have been registered in Delaware, which is the LLC hub in the United States. The Grayscale Cardano Trust, Grayscale Link Trust, Grayscale Monero Trust, which sounds a little sketchy to me. Several of these trusts that are being listed as LLCs that haven't materialized yet. And the question is, are these real, or are these actually just using the Grayscale name in an LLC to help their bags? And I don't know. I don't know if it is Grayscale.
That is actually very smart.
The day after they announced that, or not announced, the day after it was discovered, and posted on Reddit, and it started making waves, that same day, and this is why I think they're playing some games with us, Grayscale said they've got a huge announcement the next morning. And then everybody's like, oh my gosh, they're announcing all these, it was Chainlink as well. Chainlink Trust, Decentraland, LivePeer, and Cardano were like, I think the first, or base contingent token also was in there. And then the next morning they made this announcement. It's like, we're going to be sharing data with CoinShares. And it was like, or something, I think, Philip, maybe from a donor standpoint. And everybody was like, that was the announcement. It's like, you had to know that they knew that this story was circulating. They made the Justin Sun announcement of the announcement. Yeah. And then the next morning, the announcement, it was like, that wasn't what we were hoping for. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Let me ask you a question. $1,000 to invest. You can only invest it in one token. It's the only $1,000 that you got. Polkadot or Cardano? Right now, today, at today's prices, Polkadot or Cardano, you can't split it.
Cardano for sure. Cardano for sure.
And tell me why. So Cardano is our token of the month for February.
Look at that.
We're trying to see if Charles can join us. I know he's joining your show. He mentioned he'll try and hop on and talk to both of us today. But for me, Cardano is the token of the month in Feb, because Cardano has a big month coming up in Feb. But I'm interested to understand how you compare Cardano and Polkadot, and why you would put your money into Cardano.
Well, I just think the way that Cardano was constructed, I make the joke about science, it's made with science on my channel all the time. But, it really makes a lot of sense. The reason why back earlier, I made the reference to a team with a great quarterback that gets their leg broken. That's like Ethereum, right? Well, if ETH 2.0 doesn't launch perfectly, now they got a broken leg, and it does present the opportunity for someone to rise up. Polkadot's very interesting. I like Polkadot for sure. Cardano, to me, has got everything in line. Perfect. It's got the very, very strongest engagement in any community in crypto. Elrond is actually the second one. And so to me, it's just got so much behind it. There's been, for so many years, people have been waiting for this. And now that it's becoming decentralized and fully launching, I think it has a better chance to get up there. Charles is brilliant. Dr. Gavin Wood, he's pretty smart too. He usually sticks with a bad haircut. But I think that Cardano is going to just, blow people's minds when it fully launches. And I love the attack of, we're not looking at Ethereum, we're looking at Google. That's one of these things that Cardano or Charles Hoskinson talks about. I think the upside is very good. Now, as far as this year, if I had to invest, long-term, definitely Cardano. Short-term, also Cardano. And the reason for that would be because Polkadot just had a massive run-up. It had such a big run-up that it's hard to believe that anything will be, it can have another one of those parabolic moves shortly after. It's going to probably correct, while Cardano has not even touched its all-time highs. And I think that it's going to, do that probably in the next 2 months.
All right. Well, talking about Polkadot, Cardano, I've got Mr. Biz with us. I don't know if you know how this show works, but this show is all about banter. And we invite our friends to come and banter with us and to talk altcoins. And we've got Mr. Biz with us. Mr. Biz has the golden touch. He touches the coin and he goes up like 10x. That's Mr. Biz. And he's here to dance with us to talk altcoins. Mr. Biz, what's on the altcoin radar, my friend?
Hey, how you guys doing today? What's on the altcoin radar? Apparently, Paid and BMI, which my group Spectre 2 months ago flatly said BMI is going to be the #1 insurance platform. Actually, they just released an article. I don't know the metrics they're using, but they just said that BMI looks to be the #1 decentralized insurance platform. And Rand, you said about Paid yesterday, I like the tagline you used, that if everything goes well for Paid, it will be the chain link for decentralized law.
So before we get into paid, which one would you put your money on, Mr. Biz? Would you put your money on Cardano or Polkadot if you had to choose one?
Polkadot, easily. And I'm gonna tell you what.
He's got polka dots on his eyes.
You see, BitBoy, like, I've seen your videos on ADA, and here's the thing, and you should know this, right? What did Ferrum Network do since you started talking about Ferrum Network? How many X's? Yeah. Like it went a lot, right? And so a part of this piece is branding and marketing, right? And obviously I respect your acumen for technology, but technology is just one piece of it. Look what Polkadot's doing. Polkadot has a really good brand, has a really good image. You have Parachain's auctions coming up, right? And so when you look at Polkadot, it went from $5 to $20 really quickly. It can go from 20 to 50, 50 to 100 because number one, the parachain narrative is still alive. It's probably, in fact, I would tell you, parachain narrative is just as big, if not bigger, than Ethereum 2.0. You have all these projects right now that are ERC20 projects, like Pay, like BMI. What's going to happen when they move to Polkadot? The other thing,
Mr. Biz, I hate to interrupt you, but we've got Charles Hoskinson on the line, and I want to get him on. And I know that
okay, let's bring him on.
Has to leave. We will bring you back. We will bring you back in a second.
This is why Cardano will crush Dot.
My friend Charles, welcome to Crypto Banter. So good to have the three of us here together. I know that you guys are having a show later today. We've said that for us, the token of the month in February is Cardano. Big stuff happening on Cardano. Tell us what's happening on Cardano in the month of Feb.
Well, first, I'm sorry, guys, about being a little late. It looks like my secretary missed the whole Mountain Standard, Eastern Standard Time, but I'm glad we got that all sorted out. And I'm right now driving, so if it's a little noisy, I apologize. Trying to get to the office. All right.
As long as we got you, Charles, that's all we care about, man. So big month for Cardano. We've said that February for us, the token of the month for February is Cardano. We know there's a lot happening on the roadmap. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing from where you're at.
Well, we got native assets coming, so that's our version of ERC20. It does everything they do, but it's better, faster, cheaper, and eventually there's a path to paying transaction fees with the native asset itself. So it's like you're your own cryptocurrency, but you don't have to worry about building network effect or security or any of those things. So that's called the Mary hard fork, and that's coming February 22nd. Then we got more liquidity coming. Can't say much about that, but just it's coming on the horizon. And then we got the smart contract testnet for Plutus likely coming May to April. And the dev nets are looking really good. And the ERC20 converter is looking really good. We have a lot of projects that have expressed interest wanting to move over. We have a whole team that we've set up to help people do migrations from Ethereum. You know, I was just looking at statistics the other day. 31% of new dApps were deployed on Ethereum in 2020. The other 69% were deployed elsewhere. So we're hoping that that trend continues, and we think it will because of cost. And we think we could get at least half or more of them to at least consider Cardano and migrate over.
Charles, when smart contract? When Gogan? When smart contract?
So we've been already deploying Gogan. So Gogan is being shipped in a series of 3 hard fork combinator events. The first one occurred in December. The second one is happening here with Mary hard fork and on the 22nd of this month. And then the third one will occur sometime during Q2. And that's going to be dependent on what we learn from the Plutus testnet that we launch in March to April. So it's imminent, and we're just getting everything started. You know, it's a process to upgrade it because we have to change the entire accounting system from the regular UTXO system to the extended UTXO system, and we have to do a huge amount of work to get Plutus where it needs to go. But it's all on schedule, and we're almost 2 of the 3 hard forks down. We'll also achieve full decentralization at the end of March. March 31st is when we're actually running the network completely on stake pools. Right now, over 70% of the blocks are made by stake pools, and the remaining 30% are made by a federation. But we should be able to get all of that on schedule by March 31st. So the whole network will be fully decentralized. So we're hitting all of our targets.
Amazing. But for anything you want to say, anything you want to add, anything you want to ask Charles before we?
Yeah, 2 things. First of all, what kind of car is that?
Well, this is my Huracan.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, second question is, I want to ask you the same question that Rand just asked me a second ago. If you could only pick one and you had $1,000 to invest, Cardano or Polkadot, which one would you choose?
You even have to fucking ask that question. I mean, they have to copy our papers. It's not the other way
I knew you'd
around.
like that. I said Cardano as well.
I knew his answer before you answered because I'd
I think they
prepared.
do
I
great
mean,
work,
the token
and
of the
they
month is Cardano.
Yeah, but obviously I like my own stuff, but I think Gavin's a great engineer, and he has a really good team over at the Polkadot side. We have a lot of respect and admiration, and they've certainly done some good things. Like Parachains is great. We love their modification of Ouroboros. We learn a lot from them, and they learn a lot from us. And I'd like to see more of that in the space.
Amazing. Look, but I know you need to go because you've got your show starting in 10 minutes. So thank you so much for coming on Crypto Banter. Love to have you again. The community's gone mad. The chat's gone mad. Guys, give him some love. Share the like, share the subscribe, give him the comments. Thank you so much for coming to Crypto Banter, and we look forward to hosting you again soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Look forward to coming
Thank
back on again sometime. And Charles, we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, if you guys want to watch Charles, if you want to watch the full interview with Charles, BitBoy is going to have him on his channel in a few minutes. Charles, I'm going to get you back here so we can have a proper interview when you're not driving, and you can talk to us right through about what Cardano is happening. For now, you are the token of the month for Feb 2021. Yeah, Cardano is our token of the month, and we'll catch up with you and make some proper time with you.
All right, thank you so much, Rand. I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.
Great. Thank you, my friend. Be well. Mr. Biz, let's continue our banter.
You know, I think Charles Hoskinson did that intentionally, man. You do know, and this is not even a coincidence. For the last week, I am the #1 Polkadot influencer on Lunar Crush, right? And I know Charles is a smart guy. He did his research, and he had to call to bump me off. He had to call, but I appreciate actually very noble of him to actually give Polkadot credit. I was obviously we joke a lot, but for the best thing for the space is if all these protocols, Cosmos, Polkadot, ADA, if they all succeed, it's good for everybody. So I would never wish for anybody to fail. But again, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible because I do think that marketing, the marketing of Polkadot is something that we've never seen before. It's amazing. It's amazing what they've done for their brand.
The network effect that Polkadot has achieved before they even launched a mainnet. I mean, there's no mainnet.
There's no, is it? And look at what, and by the way, Rand, this is 6 months worth of FOMO, worth of hype. They're not even on Coinbase yet. They're probably going to get on Grayscale. And I know BitBoy was saying ADA. And again, I have friends in ADA. I wish ADA does well. But one thing we're forgetting, there's PTSD with ADA. There's never been any PTSD with Polkadot. In fact, if you bought Polkadot a few months ago, a few weeks ago, you're in profit. You're up 2x. How many people can say that about ADA? So you look at the sentiment towards Polkadot is extremely bullish.
Man, I love having you on the show because every time you come on the show, everyone goes wild here. I mean, comments are going crazy. Mr. Biz is spot on. Best show of February. I've got, guys, thank you. And if you are watching this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel.
And Rand, when I was watching your show, Rand, you said something that I want everybody, your listeners, to understand, which is profound. And you mentioned your picks. I believe everybody's in the 5x on your picks. And you said that, there's some other coins that people could do 100x on. Guys, understand this. Guys like Rand and groups like Spectre, we're looking for short-term, mid-term, long-term gains. We don't want you to wake up and be down 50-60% like most of these coins, like cat, dog, and all these coins are going to do. Most of you will not make money. You'll see these guys on Twitter shilling their coins, and it's going to be them that are going to do the 100x, and you're going to be left with nothing. So look at Rand's picks, guys. I saw them yesterday. They're all legitimate, very solid picks.
Okay, let's talk about Bridge Mutual. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Bridge Mutual. We both called this as one of our gems.
Yep.
I mean, this thing's done 30x now from the public sale. It's done 30x.
Insane.
35x. Okay, do you sell now and take profit, or do you hold your bag?
Rand, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea, because here's why. I called this entry at $1.20 on our Telegram. When it went to $2, I said, everybody, relax. It's gonna go down. It didn't go down. It went to $3. I said, relax. It's gonna go down. It went to $4.
That's what I said.
No. I got in. So again, Rand, we have to be honest with our investors, right? Why am I going to tell somebody that's up 3x in a few days? I said, wait for a retrace. It went to $5. Rand, I've never seen this. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I have never seen a run up like this where it hasn't at least retraced 50% to go back up. And so,
okay.
I mean, I would say dollar cost average. To long term, dollar cost average.
Look at this. Look at this. Paid Network. We had them on the show yesterday.
Yep.
This thing had a pre-sale price of 1.25 cents.
Yep.
It is trading. This is done 150x.
Not so. I'm more surprised with BMI than I would paid. I'm not surprised with paid, Rand. Kyle Chassis is very, very knowledgeable. They already said that they were going to be building on top of the Plasm parachain. You need 10K paid ignition to get private sale. And Rand, I have a little bit of idea of some of the projects, and I'm telling you right now, Rand, those are going to be projects that people are going to go FOMO for. And so when I told people at 40 cents, Rand, in our Telegram, I said get 10K paid. And right now you've got two benefits. You have 10K paid to get private sale, and you are now up essentially 4.5x on your investment. I can see paid going to $5. I can see BMI going to $10. Again, guys, get good entries. Watch out. Watch out for when the dips happen. And actually, there was like a 200 ETH sale on paid today, and people bought the dip. So, Rand, these new projects are going crazy. This is what we want to see,
guys. We want to see this, but also warning signs for me everywhere.
Yep.
It's getting too easy. The returns are too quick. People are drunk on returns. And for me, that only means one thing. Take profits. Put 27. Yesterday, I told you 25% of my portfolio was in cash. Today, 27% of my portfolio is in cash. The more money that goes into cash, the higher the market goes, the more money I'm putting into cash. I'm going to 100%. Post this on our website, but I'm going to keep telling you guys every single day on my show, keep cash. Because when this thing comes down, like Ivan says, it goes up in steps, but it comes down like an elevator. And you need to have cash.
And so profit taking, Rand, you mentioned before, and this is what we advocate in Spectre Group. We tell you, if you are up 2x, please take out your initial and save a moon bag. And in fact, Rand, listen, we do not, if you want to go ahead and just sell your entire bag, we do not discourage that at all. For BMI and paid, I am holding for the long term. I believe these can be industry giants. The other thing, guys, you have to realize when the market turns bearish, the biggest gainers will also go down the most. If anybody who got a lot of these coins early, and if the market starts going bearish, and this is natural, these are the ones that people are going to take profit from. So always, guys, always take profit. And because here's why I want you to take profit. If I want to build a strong community for paid and BMI, I don't want you buying the top, because what happens when you buy the top, you go ahead and you flood the project. That's not good for long-term gain. Take your profits, become a part of the community, help promote the project. That's how we get long-term growth.
All right, so we have, I know you've got one or two calls, but let's answer some viewer questions. I see a question that says, do you recommend taking a lot of money in a few coins or smaller amount in many coins?
How much? Again, it depends on how much money you have. If you are a high net worth individual, if you have a lot of money, and I'm 50, $100,000, I don't know how much you have. You should have a good amount of your portfolio in Ethereum, in Chainlink, in Bitcoin, if you want, in Polkadot, in these safer assets. If you are starting with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, you should find one or two small caps and try to flip them. That's what you should try to do. Right. So it all depends on the investment strategy. My
advice here is, the safer a token is, the more money you should be putting into it. So Bitcoin, Ethereum,
100%.
Cardano, Chainlink, you can put money into those. Lots of money.
And personally, man, I'm about 60 to 70% Ethereum, Link, Polkadot. About 60% of my portfolio is Link, Ethereum, Polkadot.
Exactly. And then in the smaller ones, you take a small bet. Just think about this. If you would have put $1,000 into paid network, your $1,000 would be worth $150,000. And that's why what you should do is you should take small amounts of money and put them into risky tokens. And you know what? If you lose $1,000, so what? But if you make $150,000, that's amazing. And that's what I'm doing. That's the way that I see it. A lot of people asking us, how do they join your Telegram? So how do they join the Telegram?
Find me, you guys. Find me on Twitter, and you can see in my bio. Actually, you can go to @SpectreGRP. If you follow me on Twitter, you should be able to find my Telegram. It's in my profile, but it's @SpectreGRP. That's the Twitter, and from there you'll see the Telegram link. So @SpectreGRP. GRP. That's our Twitter handle for Spectre, and the Telegram link is there.
We'll also post it in the comments, and we'll post it in the YouTube.
Appreciate
oh, there we go. So our producers have posted it for you guys in the chat. And you can just click on that link and you can go into Spectre group. They really are our brothers. I mean, the two groups, the Crypto Banter group and the Spectre group, we really operate.
Brothers, man. Because, Rand, you guys do a lot of things we do, which is, we try to educate people. We try to give you calls that make money, but at the same time, we do care about people, and we don't want people to lose their earnings. And Rand, right now, our Telegram, the reason our Telegram is actually today, I think we became one of the biggest ones from influencers, is because we have a lot of new people coming in that need to be guided, that people don't know what to buy, how to buy, when to sell. We don't want this. We don't want new people to come in and buy the top. That's not good for the space.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about picks for today. We've got about 5 more minutes. What else are we looking at? So a lot of
Rand another new Spectre pick that we added that actually went up after we added it. I don't want people buying it while it's pumped, but Idle is a DeFi coin that we added a Spectre pick. Idle, IDLE. Consensus is actually backing it. Idle.
Is it this one? This one. So it's gone down 15.8% today.
It's gone up 50.8%. I think it was like on $10 when we started talking about it. But one thing I like, Ren, and I like to see who backs it. I saw Consensus is actually backing this. Right. And obviously it's a DeFi coin. I suggest everybody to look into it. They're essentially trying to give you the best yield, like most of the DeFi protocols are trying to do. It is a lower cap. So, Rand, when I look at DeFi space, yes, I've seen Rook is pumped. I've seen Badger is pumped. And I saw Pickle. It's funny. Pickle is another one that I like that you talked about yesterday. I'm really bullish on Pickle. I was looking at Idle just because it's gone under the radar. We have not seen big accounts talk about this yet. So I think Idle is one that can give you really, really good returns if you get good entry. They have almost 100 million in TLV. So Idle is one that I've been looking at. Again, I wish I would have come to you. It's up 100% in 7 days. I'm not trying to have people buy the top. But I'm
looking at this one. I must tell my community, I'm looking into this one. I see that there's a pump that's happened. I'm looking at it. I haven't
bullish on Lena. Bullish on this as well. Our guy from Spectre, Johnny Zcash, talked about one of these. This is another really, really solid pick right here you have.
Yeah, so I'm still doing the research, and if I think that it's a big 100x gem or a 10x gem, I'll do a proper feature on it. Another one which I'm looking at, which I'm going to try and get the founders on the show tomorrow, is Option Room, which is a new one which was mentioned on Elio show.
Option Room. Oracle. See, Ran, I know my stuff. It's Oracle as a service. It's an Oracle building on Polkadot. So, guys, anytime you see Oracles plus Polkadot, that is going to be one to look out for. So, Option Room is definitely another one. Again, I don't want to come on and talk to you about show you coins that aren't out yet. People think, oh my, why is he talking pre-sales? But Option Room is one that I've seen. That one, and if you're getting the founders, that'll be a must watch. But I'm also really bullish on that. Kyle Lin is another Oracle. And I know Kyle, Kyle talked about this and ran just before, and again, I want to just mention this. Split is a project I've been looking to, Ran. I saw their founder did a video on their app being integrated into Shopify. It's e-commerce built on Polkadot, but they're doing something that nobody has ever done essentially with their e-commerce platform. So, I did a tweet today, guys, new projects, if you get them on TG at good entry, these can be good holds and good short-term, midterm, long-term profit makers for you guys.
I must say, I'm having a call with the team from Split, and I'll update my community about Split later.
All right,
Mr. Biz, we love having you on the show. It's the best banter in the whole world. We want your Telegram group to continue growing because we think that as your Telegram group grows, so does our Telegram group, and so does our show grow. So we wish you guys all the best of success and keep coming to us with the picks.
Thank you, guys, man. Love you. Love your community, guys. Hope you guys stay safe. Have a good day.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, guys, just a note about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we've got a special show for you guys, and that is me coming to you live with Lynn Alden. That is at 8:30 EST. We're going to talk to her about her Ethereum paper and why she's all of a sudden gone into Ethereum. Don't miss that. And then a big thank you to all of you guys for your vote and your love and your support. Cointelegraph did make me the number 90 in the top 100 most influential, notable people in the blockchain. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again, same time, same place tomorrow. And if you're trading, trade well, my friends.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.